O Lord, may the words of my mouth and the meditations of our hearts be pleasing in your sight, O Lord, our rock and our redeemer. Amen. So I'm teaching June how to ride her bike, how to make that leap from 4 wheels to 2 wheels, and it's kind of a big deal. It takes me way back to when I was learning how to ride my bike. Now, I don't know if you remember learning how to ride yours and what kind of processes or what sort of inner psychology you were going through and what fears you were overcoming. But as I see it and I experience it through the eyes of my 6-year-old daughter, learning to ride a bike is just as much about learning how to fall. Learning how to fall well. Learning how to not be afraid of falling and what might result from that. And being ready to just pick yourself back up and go again. And try again and again and again until you got that balance thing down pat. I sat down with June and just kind of got up in her face and talked with her. And as I was doing that, something occurred to me. I should show her my knees. And so I did. I kind of rolled up my pants and I showed her my knees and I asked her, June, why does Dad not have any hair on certain parts of his knees? Why do you think that is? She said, I don't know. And I said, because when I was your age and a little older, when I was playing on playgrounds and riding my bike and playing sports, there were a lot of falls and a lot of skinned knees and a lot of blood. And I survived. And while I've got scars from all those things, those scars don't hurt me anymore. I just learned from them. We're told by John in his gospel account that Jesus appeared to his disciples on that Easter evening, that first Easter. And there he found his disciples probably in that same upper room where they shared the Last Supper with him, where Judas had left, having betrayed him, where they had that final meal with their master before he had been crucified. And they were there, cowering in fear behind locked doors. And Jesus appeared to them. And here's the remarkable thing. Jesus came to them and he said, peace. And he continued to then show them his hands and his side. Now, I don't know if you're hearing that or reading that the way that I am, but they saw Jesus who they knew well. And Jesus didn't call them to recognize him based on his familiar face or his familiar voice, but he showed them his scars, his hands, his feet, his side. And that was how they recognized him, that it was really Jesus. I mean, how incredible is that? I mean, it's kind of like Jesus' hands and his side, his feet, his scars were the proof of God's healing miracle of the resurrection. Jesus gave them in that upper room the commission to go and to forgive sins and to grant peace to other people. And in that same room, he showed them what forgiveness looks like. It looks like scars that are empty of pain. They're on your body as a remembrance of what happened, but they don't wound you anymore. So here's the thing, guys. In Jesus, you can have the courage to look at your scars and acknowledge what caused them, knowing that in Jesus, those things are forgiven. In Jesus, you know that the scariest and worst of what victimized you in your life will be fully and finally defeated, and you have no need to fear. What amazing hope in the resurrection. So we've been talking about scars and how we get them. all these different ways in which our bodies give a record of where we've been and what we've done and the kinds of things that we've experienced. I hope that as you see through all this, you recognize that your past, good and bad, shapes who you are today. And also that in Jesus, God's able to forgive and redeem all of it. There's this remarkable song, a rap by an artist who goes by the name of Propaganda. And the song's entitled Framed Stretch Marks. The line that emerges from me and crystallizes this whole thing. He says, "The scars and stretch marks are the proof of God's healing." What an amazing testament to how our past shapes who we are and how God uses that and guides us along, gives us what we need each step of the way. As far as stretch marks, I can't speak about that personally. I gotta be honest. But I'm fortunate to be able to look out and see other people who can speak to those things. There's this woman, Rachel Hollis, who had a photo that went viral because she went on a vacation with her family to Cancun and she wore a bikini, this mother of 3. And it became almost sort of a manifesto for being real and authentic as a mom. It emboldened moms all over the place. She says, "I think that so much online and in the media, we see images of what we're supposed to be. And there's something so chic about being the real you and putting it out there in the world." She says, "I have stretch marks and I wear a bikini," reads her caption on the viral photo. She continued to comment, "I have a belly that's permanently flabby from carrying 3 giant babies and I wear a bikini. My belly button is saggy, which is something I didn't even know was possible before. And I wear a bikini. I wear a bikini because I'm proud of this body and every mark on it." By the way, as you're hearing your pastor say this, you can imagine all sorts of fun ways that this can be cut to imagine me just saying this about myself, right? Hollis added, "Those marks prove that I was blessed enough to carry my babies, and the flabby tummy means I worked hard to lose the weight that I could. I wear a bikini because the only man whose opinion matters knows what I went through to look this way. And that same man says he's never seen anything sexier than my body, marks and all. These aren't scars, ladies. They're stripes, and you've earned them. Flaunt that body with pride." So here's the thing. We've talked about scars and stretch marks. We could go further and we could talk about gray hair and dyeing hair and all that kind of stuff. The point is, all over our society, there is this obsession with impossible perfection. And people put up all kinds of pretensions to avoid revealing the history that they've walked through in their life. The gray hairs they've earned, the stretch marks they've earned, the scars they've earned. And I think we have a choice. We have a choice when it comes to these things in our lives. We can hide it, put makeup on it, conceal it, avoid it, deny it. Or when it comes to these scars that we've earned, we can show them. We can share them with others. We can own our scar stories and tell them to ourselves and share them with our friends, with our family, for our kids. And the thing is, maybe as we do that, we'll come to know more fully what it is to be forgiven in Jesus. Maybe we'll know more fully what it is to anticipate the renewal of all things. Maybe as we do that, somebody who's got wounds that are still giving them pain will actually find healing. Amen.